Hello, longboarding mom. I have been slow at work, so they gave me a couple of days off. So I have been baking and cooking, cleaning, of course. And I have gone through my pantries and found a few things that I need to cook or bake. So you guys are going to get a few videos from me. Today I'm going to make jalapeno cheese bread and homemade chili. You might get two videos again. I'm first going to start with the jalapeno cheese bread, and then later I will make my homemade chili. Those are all going to be out of my Betty Crocker recipe book. And like I said, I make things up too as I go along. So the recipe for the jalapeno cheese bread is partly focaccia bread recipe, and then I worked at a bakery many years ago, and we made jalapeno cheese bread. So I made my own version of the jalapeno cheese bread, and it is delicious. I make sandwiches out of it. I'll dip my chili in it. I usually do cornbread, homemade cornbread with my chili, but I've got to use these jalapenos. The can had gotten dented somehow. It probably fell out of my cabinet, probably because I overstuffed them. So that's why I went through my cabinets the other day. I went shopping at Winco, so I wanted to see what I need to buy, and I honestly didn't need to buy anything except for eggs and the essentials like cheese and stuff like that. So I am going to get started. I'm going to use my husband's smoked cheddar cheese, probably Colby Jack cheese, and he smokes it for me. So one day we will get a video of him doing that if he lets me, because it is so good. And I have a whole bunch of sharp cheddar and Colby Jack in the refrigerator right now. So we're going to use probably the Colby Jack and my dented can of jalapenos. So let's get started. This recipe is really easy, actually. We are gonna start with 1 cup of flour. I've got 3 cups of flour in this bowl already. I'm gonna move that cheese out of the way because we do not need it right now. But we're gonna put 1 cup approximately of flour into the mixing bowl. We are going to add the sugar, the yeast, and the oil to that bowl. Need 1 tablespoon sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, a little bit more, and I've got my vegetable oil here. Actually, extra virgin olive oil. We are going to do 3 tablespoons of that into the bowl, hot water, and some yeast, which I got to get my yeast out of the refrigerator still. One, 2, 3. My hot water is in the microwave already warmed up. I need I've got them already set up for my yeast. There's 1, and I need 2 teaspoons and a quarter, and they're already stuck together. I've got my big jar of yeast here. I bought this when that yeast was all in scarce. They had those big packages. It was really weird. I'd never seen them before. So I got a big package of yeast, and once you open it, you need to put it in something. So I put it in this big jar that I got from Dollar Tree, actually. It's kind of a nice little jar. Fits in the refrigerator nicely. So that is 2 1/4 teaspoons. That's 1 package of yeast. If you buy the packages separate, that's 2 1/4 teaspoons. I'm going to put this back in the refrigerator. I'm going to add some water to this, and we are going to start mixing it up. Put that down. Turn it on. Give it a little swirl. So you do this kind of in 2 steps because you want to let the dough raise for about a half an hour, and then you add your jalapenos and cheese to it, mix it all around, separate the dough into 2. I might do 4 little loaves this time, and separate it and let it rise another half hour. I've actually got my oven already warmed up because it's not hot here today. It's raining outside, and I wanted to make some chili and jalapeno cheese bread. I'm gonna get this all mixed up pretty good, and we're gonna start adding. I should have used the paddle attachment for this part. Let me turn it off, stir it around with my spatula. I don't want it clumpy. So I've already got my bowl over here with some olive oil in it. This is the bowl I'm going to put my dough into once I'm all done. So let's put this back down, add some more, turn it on medium. I put it on 2 to like in between 4, 2 and 4, and add some flour to it. See that little mess? See, I am such a mess. I am a mess. And once you get all the flour incorporated, it's gonna be sticky, but it's gonna pull away from the bowl. It says to take it out and knead it for 5 to 8 minutes. I'm just gonna leave it in here and let the mixer do its work. That's what I got a mixer for. I don't need to hand knead things. In the bakery, they never kneaded anything by hand. It was, you know, they had mixers 10 times bigger than this, and how are you going to knead by hand all of that dough? So their mixer basically did all the work for them. And that's why I got this nice little mixer. Look at that mess I'm making. Okay, I can poof right back into the bowl, right? You want to scrape the sides so it gets all incorporated in there. It's starting to pull away. It's still way sticky. It's not pulling away yet. I don't know. Can you see that? Still wet. I accidentally broke my light that goes on my camera. So I rigged up a couple of lights that I've gotten from the Dollar Tree. They're little book lights. They're kind of cool. My husband's going to fix it for me. He's already fixed my light like 3 times. Super glued it back together for me. I might have to buy a new one. A little rough with my equipment. It's pulling away. It's pulling away. It's pulling away. I'm going to turn it off. Wipe all that flour off the paddle. Whoa. Look at that. It's still sticky. I'm going to scrape the sides. I haven't made jalapeno cheese bread in a few years. I might share some with work. Maybe. Okay. Not sure how much I've added to it. It says 2.5 to 3 cups. And when it's wet outside, I usually end up adding a little bit more because of the moisture and stuff. It's really moist in Oregon. The humidity is always high. We had a couple dry days the last couple days, and we had an air stagnation advisory, which is really odd for winter. But what isn't normal these days? Things are weird. Everything's being weird. Okay, the dough is starting to pull away, but it's still really sticky. So you add more to it. It's like making pizza dough. I love making pizza dough. If you don't know what a focaccia bread is, it's normally, you would add like rosemary and thyme to it, and after the second, before you proof it the second time, or when you proof it the second time, you put little finger knots in it, and it's just like a flat bread with little divots in it. Oh, 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 it's pulling away, it's pulling away. I wish I could show you guys what it looks like, because now I'm going to set the timer for 5 minutes and kind of let it kind of knead. It's going to knead in there, and I'm just going to slowly add flour to it. So once it gets springy, so like it says 5 to 8 minutes. Look at all that mess I made on my mixer. Oh, it's so pretty. 5 to 8 minutes. So we're gonna let it knead in here. Actually, I'm gonna show you what it looks like. That's the dough. See, it's still kind of sticky. It's going around the bowl, and it sometimes will stick to the bowl. So when it sticks to the bowl, you want to add a little bit of flour to it, so it kind of does its little kneading thing, I guess. I don't know all the technical terms. I just like to do this stuff, and I learn as I go. You make mistakes, and sometimes they're good mistakes, and sometimes they're bad mistakes. So that's how you learn. You learn. Whoops, turned it up too much. It sticks to the bottom. It's got like a little swirly, like a dough on my hands. It sticks to the bottom. It gets a little swirly as it goes around and stuff. And then it starts kind of flinging against the side of the bowl. You can hear it. And you just give it just a little bit of flour so that it kind of kneads it around and stuff. It's been about 2 minutes. We're gonna give it another 3 minutes. Probably not gonna go the whole 8 minutes, just the 5. And I have about a half a cup of flour left, so we can add it slowly as it goes, or we might not even need it all. This is kind of how I make my pizza dough, like I was saying, you know, almost the same exact ingredients. You just let it rise for an hour, and then you put it out on your pizza pan. Now it's not even sticking anymore, so it's perfect. Perfect. Might not even need any more. Let's see what it looks like. You guys want to see that dough? Nope, it's sticky still. It's sticky, but look at that. See, once it's springy like that, yay! But it's still sticky on the bottom, so we're gonna add just a little bit more flour. It's got 2 minutes left. I'm gonna clean up this mess. I got flour on my KitchenAid. This is my best can opener I own. I break every can opener, and that one I've had for years. I have not broke it yet. Knock on wood. that mess I made.
Huh? Are you recording? I got the bug right on the piece of the top right. You wanna go? If you, all you gotta do is put it away and let it rise.
Yeah, I gotta let it rise for a half hour.
So you wanna take a ride?
Sure.
Okay. I'm just letting it warm up. It hasn't run in a while, so. Take your time.
Okay, it's only, we got a minute left, but I'm gonna pull it out. Really springy, but it's still sticky, so I'm gonna put it in there. Give it its last minute with a little bit more flour. Turn it up just a little bit. There's like no in between in this mixer. I don't get it. I couldn't find my dented can, so I found another can. And then this one's an expired can, so we're gonna see what it looks like. We're gonna open it up and use it too. Just by a couple months. Shh, don't tell anyone. Okay. So this is my bowl with the oil in it. I'm gonna recoat the sides. Recoat the sides, and you really, I mean, I'm gonna flip it over once I get in there anyway, so. That is my dough ball. And while this is rising, look at that, springy, while it's rising, I will clean up my kitchen, do some dishes. I've already grated the cheese, so it's ready to go. I'm gonna put some, cover this up with some plastic and put it in my little warm oven. I've got my medium pizza pan out. I'm going to make 4 round jalapeno cheese breads. One is going to be just cheese because my son doesn't like jalapenos. But I'm going to grease this up first. Normally I do it on a cookie sheet, but I don't like to put grease on my cookie sheets. That's why all of them usually get foil on them. So I can do that to my pizza pan. And I'm going to open these up. This one's the good one. It's got big slices in it. I'm going to drain that off. And this is the one I get to use my can opener with. These ones are diced, so it's just going to be little pieces in it, but look. It smells like jalapenos. I gave my hands a really good wash after I drained those jalapenos. You don't want to touch your eyeballs or anything with the oils from the jalapeno juice. It will burn. Okay, my timer hasn't gone off yet. I'm going to pull out a little pad so that I can mix up the cheese and the jalapenos together. I'll be back here in just a sec.
Chili for dinner, right?
Chili for dinner.
Okay.
Gonna save that plastic wrap. I might need it. Well, I'm gonna use it for when I'm done, but that's halfway risen. It's been a half an hour. So we're going to take it out and put it on this. We are going to add some cheese. I'm just going to dump this in. It's not my Colby Jack because we've eaten the Colby Jack. Not all of it. I'll use that for dinner tonight. This is about a cup, maybe a little bit more of cheese grated. And you want to incorporate into the dough. I think I'm going to get more cheese.
You want me to create some coffee? Got a little bit. You got more than you think.
Into it.
Half a cup?
No, I think I'm good. Little,
I've got it grated already.
Okay, just a little bit.
Okay.
That's my Colby cheese. Yum. It's all smoked. So it's going to be smoked jalapeno cheese bread. Look at all that cheese. All right. Since my son does not like jalapenos, I'm going to cut a little bit off and make him his own bread with just cheese in it. Set it on there, kind of like a little ball, and then let it rise again. I'm going to, this is the tricky part, adding the jalapenos. Probably won't need all of those jalapenos, so I might use the rest for dinner tonight. But that's a lot of jalapenos, and they're big chunks, so we'll go like this. Cut them in. Kind of messy. Oh, the jalapenos are falling out. I like the carrots too and the onions. They bake into it. So good. It's a little wet. I made a mess, didn't I?
You always do.
My husband, you always do. Yes, I do.
But the mess is very good because the food is very good.
The jalapenos are a little wet. I should have drained them a little bit more, but that's okay. I'm going to cut this into thirds, if I can. 1, 2, 3. Make little balls. Make sure everything's still in it. They don't have to be pretty. The jalapeno cheese bread always ended up like different sizes and shapes and stuff. So I just want to make sure that we don't lose any of those jalapenos. This one's a little bit smaller. Put this on top. prefer to clean up. I'm going to wash my hands, cover this up, and show you what it looks like. So that's what it looks like before I cover it and give it another 30 minutes for the raise action. Should probably flatten that one out a little bit more. Okay. I covered it up loosely with some saran wrap. I'm going to put it back in my oven to let it rise for another 30 minutes. And I'll let you see what it looks like before I bake it. At 400 degrees, I'm going to carefully pull this off. You can tell it has risen quite a bit. My husband requested some everything bagel seeds on one of them. So I'm thinking we're going to do this little flat one right here. We're going to try that. So I've got some egg wash here. It's egg white and water. I've whipped it up in this bowl. We're going to brush it on all of these, and we're going to sprinkle this one with the seeds carefully, not getting my son's because he doesn't like it. I have the pickiest kid ever. Who has picky kids out there? He is so picky. Oops, I need that. I'm gonna wash this. This helps brown the tops better. It makes it, give it that crunchy, shiny glaze look. Butter works as well. I think egg white works better on breads. See, already it looks shiny. And when you're adding jalapenos, they do have different heat to them. You can buy mild, medium, or hot. You can add as much as you want to your bread. And the wet, when it was wet, like I said, it was a little wet. It doesn't matter. You can dry the jalapenos off if you want before you add it to your bread and stuff. But I've always just mixed it in, and it's always been a little bit wetter. So let's add some seeds to that. The oven isn't quite preheated yet. Have you ever had the everything bagels? They've got garlic and sesame seeds. And these are, it's got black sesame seeds. I've never heard of black ones until I bought this. I was reading the ingredients. I add this to my pizza crust too. I like it. It's got, let's see, sesame seeds, garlic, dehydrated onions, black sesame seeds, and poppy seeds. That's the little itty bitty black ones. I'm going to add a couple sunflower seeds to the top of this too, because when you buy everything bagels, they have sunflower seeds in them too. So I'm going to add a couple of that. We're going to put it in the oven for 15 minutes. It's preheated, and we'll be back here in a little bit when it's done. I don't know if they're going to stick. And give them a little push. Okay. into the oven for 15 minutes, maybe a little longer. That is 15 minutes. I'm going to give it another 5 minutes to get this inside because it is kind of connected together a little bit, so I don't want it to be doughy. But look at that golden brown. That looks delicious. Jalapeno cheese bread to go along with the homemade chili. That will be the next video. Thanks for watching, Longboarding Mom. We'll see you in a few minutes.
Bread with some everything bagel on it. And oh my. Yum. Yum. Please like and subscribe. You'll love it. It's a good channel.